Episode 336 of The Past is here with your host BT with yet another episode, a new recording. I am enjoying, I can't speak for you all because obviously you all are just getting the content, but from my end, it's a much more thorough process to get these shows done bi-weekly than trying to throw some information in a week's time. First and foremost, I do want to shout out to anyone who's already subscribed to the podcast via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any other podcast platforms that you're using. I've been still keeping information and keeping eyes on it. Those of you who all have been listening to the Jeff Bezos episode from Pandora, I do appreciate it. It's not unnoticed, I promise you. But I want to talk about kind of giving you all a couple weeks backlog on what's been new, what's been going on, where I'm at with things, and the title will kind of be a good lead-in. I'm not going to do an angel number today. Before I do any of that, because I want to bring this to the forefront, because I believe I kind of went into this a little bit on the last show, but I'm emphasizing it again because it's very important. Life and health are important. And to add to the importance of that, I'm stating those two because our mental health and concerns of possibility of suicide are key. I have the link already in the show notes, and after getting information from talking with one of my personal friends, I don't at any point ever want to downgrade or downplay the importance of your mental well-being. And that means if you need to get help, please get help. I have the link, as I mentioned already, it's in the show notes. You'll be able to click on that link, and it's a phone number if you need to reach out to anybody. And I think strong people don't do this enough, but strong people, it doesn't hurt to do. Say, hey, I need help, or hey, I need to talk. And I know for a lot of folks, it's easier said than done because we don't want to burden anyone. We don't want to be an inconvenience, all of those factors and things. And I fully understand that. But if you need someone that you really need to reach out to, please utilize the resources that are available via your phone or via people that you personally know that might be directly in your circle that can get a hold of you, or however communication can be made. Just utilize those resources. That's my biggest thing and my main thing I want to bring to the forefront. I did talk about subscriptions, but before I forget, I want to also address that I started a newsletter. So a lot of you who know my personal blog, Brate1982.wordpress.com, I still have it. I may go back to it again, but I've just started a newsletter. I actually wrote my third newsletter. Since the last show that you all have listened to, I had only one newsletter written. I've written two more since then. So I'm doing that every Sunday at 9:00. If I'm able to get it up at 9:00, great. If not, life happens, but I'm doing my best to get that going. And that's been a joy. That's been fun to get kind of a weekly rundown, because that covers what I don't cover sometimes in episodes on the podcast. Because like I said, the podcast has and will be going a different direction. I don't talk about. It's not that I don't think sports is of interest. Let me be perfectly clear, because I can give y'all a quick rundown about Cam. I can give you a quick rundown about music. I have information and context on a lot of those things, but I've more so been inclined to kind of giving a lot of people the walkthrough of the IT world and what that entails, or what that could possibly be if you're looking to do it. You know, I can speak on experiences with other people who I know who are studying for certifications, have taken certifications, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want people to, if they have it in their ability to do so, utilize that resource to get that set up. And I'm going to put a mark for what I'm about to share next, because I think this is going to be helpful. There's a gentleman I follow on TikTok. I'm going to share his link in the show notes, and I'm also going to share the link to his product that he has. It is called the Hostage Negotiation Kit. Do not overthink it. It has a much more substance-based meaning than what the title conveys. I'll say that much. And I've just happening to just going through the For You page. One of his videos came up. I followed him. I looked at the link. I didn't know what the link was. I was like, wait, is this to get, like, is this $5? It's just going to him in general. But then I listened to what he was talking about. I've since downloaded. I do have it printed out because y'all know I like to print stuff. And it's bringing that thing to life that I'm working on, which is the inner child, or the inner, as he references it, the inner big homie. But there's other components to it as well. And that's something that I'm going to chew at it or kind of chip at it a little bit this week and next week, possibly get it done by the end of November. So we'll see how that all plays out. And also, where else was I going? Because I had like so many thoughts in my head. My title is going to be key to what I want to talk about today. Because I had to really sit and look at it like, what content do I really have that I can share about IT wise or coding wise? Like coding, I've kind of been on a chill with coding, and I'm doing some design work, but the design work has been put on a halt thanks to my hard drive. No, not my hard drive, but my flash drive conking out. Any of you who have been around for the podcast for a bit, there were a couple episodes back that my other flash drive for the podcast that got corrupted. And on yesterday, it's somewhere between like Sunday morning, like early Sunday, late Saturday, my web graphic flash drive got corrupted. Both of them were Lexars. I don't know if it's that Lexar is just that trash or if I'm just getting defective flash drives. Because I've got a couple of SanDisks, and I've been rocking with them for a minute. Like I got a 32, I have a 64. My 128 is likely going to be, I just recently got a 128. While I'm talking about this, if you all do listen to this show, Best Buy has a deal that's out early. The 128 gig SanDisk Cruiser or Cruiser Glide. It's the classic retro SanDisk that everyone knows about. 128 gig, $10. Hop on it now before it goes. You'll thank me later if you're storing or managing a lot of stuff. But my Lexar experience has just made me like, fam. Like I've literally, the last few days have been trying to unplug, replug, trying other devices, seeing where else I can hook it up. And it's not reading. And I'm just like, the funniest thing that happened, I think it was Sunday morning, is I opened up my computer, I connected it, and somehow it showed the information. But before I could get what I was trying to get over from it, it never showed up again. And the bad part was when I was able to see everything that I could see, it was in read-only mode. So that was a little alarming because then that made me wonder, like, if I am able to see it, can I transfer this over to another drive and will it be accessible? So I was thinking about that as well. But by the time I attempted to go back to reconnect it again, it was like, nope. That was the moment that you had to try it and do it, and you didn't take advantage of it, so you won't be getting any content off of this hard drive. And it was just off this flash drive. It's tough only because of the simple fact that there are a lot of things that I've edited and or created on that flash drive that I got to recreate again or just find somewhere. Some of them, some designs I do keep on my documents, which is a good thing. But I don't want to rely solely on my documents to do my dirty work, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, lesson of the day, which I'm sharing with you all. I guess this will almost be to pass the message. Store your information in more than one place. And of all people, I should know this, but I didn't think about this with this situation or this circumstance. But it happened. So I'm not looking for any pity or any sorrow. It's just eye-opener moment of 2 Lexar drives, both like conking out on me. I think the other one is probably still in my closet because when that happened, I was just like, I don't even want to see or look at it. Like, It's an orange flash drive. It pissed me off to the point of no return. And now the purple one that I just recently got, I think I got that on sale. That was a 64 gig. That one had a moment. So I'm just like, I can't win for losing with Lexar. My cruisers, my SanDisk drives have been like top tier, like, hey, we holding it down, we good over here type of thing. And I'm just like, all right, I guess y'all showing me what time it is, so I need to stick to what I know. And the age old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what I'm going to do my best in reminding myself and remembering to keep in my queue for future things that I work on. But yeah, I just I shared it with a friend of mine because, like, kind of to give a quick story time, I was literally trying to download a PowerPoint presentation that she had given me to add to her folder that I had on that flash drive. So when I pulled it up, I'm like, all right, cool. This shouldn't be no big deal. Just, copy and paste it, save it to the flash drive. We good to go. When I saw the message saying failed to connect or something error, and I was like, I'm not paying attention. What's going on? And when I went to look at the flash drive and it wasn't showing, I kept getting messages. And this is almost like a double pass the message, because this is something that's important to remember too. If you're seeing warning signs and messages are coming up, don't ignore those signs. I know like I've talked about this probably on the show before, we ignore red flags, but warning messages, error messages come up on our computer for a reason. Warning messages and error messages come up in our car for a reason. We shouldn't disregard them just like, okay, whatever, it's just a normal message that I receive. It's telling you that something needs to be looked at and you need to get it looked at like yesterday. So doing that can reduce something else from being messed up to not cause you more maintenance trouble and chaos. That's kind of where I'm going with that whole scenario, with that whole breakdown. But yeah, my Lexar design flash drive with literally all of the folders of everyone's content that I had worked on is gone. And it hurts, but I'm good. And I think the reason I'm good is, as I talked about earlier with mental health, it's a flash drive. It's not a life. Like, if it was like someone no longer being here, different conversation, different perspective. But in this case, it's a flash drive. It's an item. And as my mom was known for saying, or is known for saying, it's stuffing things. And I have to remember sometimes some things are bigger than the things that we think are bigger than some things are bigger than the things that we make bigger in our lives. That's kind of the lighthearted version of it. So this isn't, as I mentioned before, these are going to be kind of like those quick check-ins of just making light of, well, not even gonna say make light of things, but just kind of address where IT is, where life is, where the routine is, where I'm at with stuff. And just kind of like a quick check-in with you all. I do want to add one other thing, because I mentioned about mental health. A lot of my friends have started to pick up on this, and most of you all will probably be listening to this show. There's a thing that I implemented. I've probably talked about it on the show before, and if I have already, then you can skip forward or you can run to the end, either or. I do mental check-ins with people. And the mental check-ins that I'm finding that works now are putting it on a scale of 1 to 10 for your mental, your personal, and your professional. Where are you at mentally on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being awful or trash, and 10 being amazingly fine and nothing. I have no worries or frills. And just break that down from a mental aspect. Break that down from a personal aspect. Personal can implement physical. That's what I've kind of found that to be the tying factor. And then the professional is where you are with your current employment, and also where you are with things you're trying to do to develop into a better employment outside of what your current employment is. Something to think about and something to share. My 3 for today: mental is at about an 8. My personal is at about a 7. Professional, I'm going to be honest, professional is at about a 4. And the only reason it's at a 4 is because I'm thinking of everything that I got to recover. I haven't really taken time to really put myself in business orient mode enough. And it almost like battles the mental aspect of me because that could dwindle a little bit because of it, but it's not as bad as I expected it to be. So I'm reminding myself of that more and more frequently and more often. So that's all I have for y'all today. I'm not going to give y'all any like fluff and pandering or Mandarin. It's just knowing how to do those check-ins with yourself and check-ins with others around you, because sometimes they may need it just as much as you do. So I wish you all well. I wish everyone an amazing week. Today, we are a couple of days away from Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have their love and hate about the holiday. Personally, it's reeled me back into reminding myself to give thanks and to be thankful. I wasn't there. There are points, places, and spaces in my life where I wasn't thankful or wasn't grateful for what I have or where I've been. And now I'm able to say I'm in a much better space than I've realized by really taking time to just kind of step back and take myself out of the equation and really look at what is going on and what is coming. And that then grounds you and really puts you into a better aspect of seeing it for what it's worth. So we'll have our next show. It'll be December. I don't know. I didn't even think about this. We may be doing the year in review. It's either going to be the next episode or will be the episode after. I know for a fact that I can't speak for anybody else. My year in review content is going to be very heavy this year. And I've used heavy a lot in 2021, but it's tied in very well with a lot of my experiences or a lot of what has or hasn't gone on. And that's really all I can say on it. Fingers crossed I'll have a guest on. I'm ironing out things, and I'm also needing to get that aligned as well. So just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, like I appreciate y'all. If you haven't heard it from anyone today, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. Don't, as hard as it is not to, don't fight with where you think you should be. Value where you are and look at where you were last year. I always have been, I'm seeing myself bringing that to the forefront, because I'm even having to look at it with myself. Like at this time last year, I was in ground zero, and I'm not giving, as I always like to do, I don't give personal information if not necessary, but I was in ground zero and I was nowhere near close to where I'm at with how I do podcasts now. So those little tweaks and transitions and adjustments have made the battle and the workload much more worthwhile. So that's all I got. Until next time, y'all have an amazing week, and I will catch y'all on the next episode. See y'all in December.